Okay, so this is my technology enhanced lesson plan. Grade level is kindergarten and subject is math. This is actually a lesson plan that I taught. I didn't use the technology in it. That was something I added for this assignment. But this is a real life lesson that I did write and teach. So I'll walk you through it and explain the technology I used. So my standards, I have empowered learner, innovative designer, computational thinker. So that's 1A, 1B, 5A, 4A, 4B, 5B. And then another two were designer, 5A, 5B, and facilitator, 6A, 6B. So I use technology. I'm using iPads in this lesson. Ideally, every student in the class would have access to an iPad, and we are using Keynote. So the content for this lesson, it's a math lesson. Students will be counting objects up to 10. They're comparing numbers using more, fewer, and same, and then recording and analyzing data. And then the objective, students will be able to count toppings on a digital pizza up to 10, write numbers accurately to record data, compare quantities using more, fewer, and same. Students will demonstrate understanding by creating their own digital pizza using Keynote, recording and reflection on their topping choices, answering questions that compare quantities of toppings. So for this actual lesson that I taught, we pretended that we were in a pizzeria, and I was a chef. I dressed up as a chef, and the students, we all worked in a pizzeria together. And so we practiced taking orders and correctly making pizzas based on different orders, but the pizzas could only have up to 10 toppings, and we could use anything. I forget all the choices. I know there's pepperoni, olives, pineapple, peppers, and I can't remember the other one. But those were our topping choices. So ideally, students would be using iPads, and instead of doing this as a worksheet, which is what we did it on a worksheet with cutouts of little toppings. This lesson, we would use iPads and Keynote every student would have their own individual pizza on their iPad, on their Keynote, and they would drag and drop pizza toppings. So, let's see. I will explain how we are using pizza toppings. How we're using technology. We are going to be doing Keynote, like I said, and then, where is it? So, we're also going to be using a interactive whiteboard or projector for a whole class for the I do and the we do portion. And then we're also going to be using number charts and visual anchor displays. And then I have teacher guided questions for students, and then real world context to engage the students and really kind of hook them into the lesson. So, how will the technology tools you're using during the lesson create a bridge between students' school learning and their everyday lives? So, we are developing real world connections, including practical applications, common platforms, adaptive technology, cultural representation, social media and collaboration tools, critical thinking and problem solving, and data-driven insights. And also, this is going to foster essential skills like communication, collaboration, creativity, critical thinking in the students. And then using Keynote, we are going to be counting and comparing numbers, which is dragging and dropping, and then recording data. So students will use the Keynote to label pizzas with numbers for each topping, just to reinforce their understanding of numerical representation. And then also applying knowledge independently, so they're creating their own pizzas, and they can independently practice their skills of counting, comparing, and recording, and showing their ability to apply these concepts. Also, this is going to give them immediate feedback, and it is also going to send it to me, so I'm not, working with all the worksheets and all the cutouts and everything. It's automatically going to me, and they're automatically getting feedback as well. All right, let's see. Now we'll go through the Triple E framework. So for the TPACK framework, it's going to emphasize the integration of technology, and using this, it's going to enhance the lesson with technological knowledge. And the reason I chose Keynote and iPads was because they enable students to interact directly with digital pizza toppings. And then pedagogical knowledge, it's going to be a scaffolded approach. So I do, we do, you do. So modeling, guided practice, and then independent practice. And then lastly, content knowledge. And then for the Triple E framework, it, helps me ensure that technology supports engagement, enhancement, and extension. So engagement, students will actively participate. It encourages them to do so by dragging and dropping. It mirrors real-life interactions, picking your pizza topping and placing it on the pizza. It's also going to help keep students motivated and focused. And then enhancement, so it's going to enhance understanding by simplifying complex tasks. And Keynote actually allows students to organize and compare data more efficiently than using, a traditional paper method. And then lastly, extension. The lesson connects math skills to a real-world scenario. So designing a pizza using Keynote reinforces practical applications of math, such as budgeting or decision-making. So, for example, students decide how many toppings to add while ensuring the total matches given parameters, a skill transferable to daily life tasks like shopping or planning. Finally, I will, at least one way that I will use what I learned from this project is that I am going to learn that, how I would really prefer to use this. I'm not sure if it's going to be fully possible, but this has really kind of opened my eyes to how much I really do want iPads in the classroom. And yeah, I would love to work on getting a grant for that in the classroom. I think it's really great for students to have that, and not just, Chromebooks or laptops, because I think iPads are very engaging with students, and especially the younger students in kindergarten. It's easier for them to use and navigate. And yeah,